Hey everybody, welcome to another Pro SC2 cast done by yours truly, Mathis Starcraft. It is going to be for an IEM. It's going to be one of the placement matches, or one of the earlier matches, between GoSuGatored, and if you're wondering who Reese is, that is actually Fruitdealer. I'm super excited to be casting a game of Fruitdealers. I have not done so. I can't think I've ever done a Fruitdealer game, to be honest. He's kind of elusive in the replay front, canceling something there. Deciding maybe to go for something that's very early action. You never see pro gamers cancel anything, and it looks like he's actually canceling in favor of a cheese. Is going to be going for that 7 pool. So wow, Fruitdealer opening up this series by just going for an epic cheese, I guess. So awesome, excited to see that. We'll see what GoSuGatored is actually looking to do. He is dropping a pylon down here, so this is typically indicative of a force fast expand or a forge into a cannon rush type deal. So we'll see if that's what he decides to do. Doesn't even check for the expansion, goes right into the base to see what's going on. He is going to get wind of that 7 pool, and yes, he does. He knows it's there, and now it's going to see what he does to react. How is he going to react to this? Is he going to continue with his plan? If he does decide to get a forge, there is enough distance and enough time to drop a cannon in his main rather, just to hold the defense. He doesn't want to waste any of his minerals dropping it in the enemies or Fruitdealer's natural. There's no point at this point. The forge is just now going down, so actually very late on the forge at this point, and really going to have to hurry up and do something. I'm surprised he decided to drop that forge anyway and not go for a gateway and get some units out to hold this, but cannons can be extremely effective, especially against Zerglings, as they do pop very quickly. 1 or 2 hits and they're typically gone. And it does look like Fruitdealer is really dedicating most of his resources into this. As you can see, just propping out, if we take a look at the units tab here, he does have only 9 workers and 8 Zerglings, while our friend here has straight up 16 workers. So we'll see how he decides to hold this off. The forge has finished. And is he going to go straight into the main? He is. He wants to get economic damage done. This is the thing about a 7 pool. He does need to get that damage done. He absolutely has to get economic damage done. If he does not, and the cannon goes up without any damage, he's going to be in trouble. As you can see, with proper probe micro, he can ward off the Zerglings and kind of getting them in a bad spot there. Has yet to get a worker, and now the cannon has popped, and sadly, that may be the end of the 7 pool. Well defended by GoSuGatored there. Now it's really, he's going to have to be backpedaling. He's going to pick off a few free things. That's smart. Grabbing this, he's going to lose this forge most definitely, as the gateway hasn't even finished yet. And going to shut down that forge, prevent any upgrades going down, though sadly no upgrades will be going down this early in the game, and he's really, like I said, going to have to be backpedaling. He's going to have to take what he can get with the 7 pool action, going to have to quickly expand, I do believe, and it does look like he's going to be doing that, and get his economy up and running and try to catch out. If we do look, he is well behind by about 10 workers, dedicating all of his larvae into that worker management. Has supply block GoSuGatored, so it's going to set him back just a bit and allow him some time to catch up. The Zergling is going to continue to add pressure. Just need to keep him on his toes and add that pressure while he's able to catch up. And sadly, that cannon is going to leave him kind of helpless into getting any workers, but still can get some critical scouting information. Nothing GoSuGatored can do about scouting right now. Going to be dropping that cyber core, working off of 1 gateway only, getting that zealot out. Zealot is going to be critical into continuing to hold this off. Again, sadly, this cannon is really going to be doing a lot of the work. Thought about grabbing that gas, might have been a misclick, but decided against it. Does have that 1 gas just mining. He doesn't need really any gas right now, as he doesn't have a cyber core up yet. Has a warp gate, no need for any stalkers. Really just working off of probes and zealots. And all the while, actually, it does look like grabbing that forge and that pylon free down there has really allowed Fruitdealer to come back into this game. He does have all the workers practically caught up. He's going to be just about 1 or 2 behind once all of his drones pop. His hatchery, his second hatchery, almost done, if not already. Yep, just now looks like popping. Going to be having another couple of drones popping out, and there you see, as he plain as day, he has caught up economically. So though the cheese did not do what he wanted it to, end the game early or do some massive economic damage to give him the leg up, he has at least been able to even out the playing field. And on a map like this, on Terminus, excuse me, a big map like this, that's actually quite good that he was able to recover from this. So I'm happy to see that. He's going to have the ability to expand. And the thing about Terminus, too, is such a macro-centric game. You have the natural right down here, and one of the easiest thirds in the world to defend right here. Gonna have to run his Zerglings back, by the way. Got a few Zealots kind of pushing him back, and the Stalkers are kind of popping out, so quickly getting out of there. But like I said, really easy third to defend because there are rocks here, not allowing that second opening quite right away. You can quickly grab that. It does look like he's dropping a few more gateway, or I should say just a gateway and a forge down. Cybercore is working on Warp Gate currently, and he has lost a couple of Zerglings here, but gonna be fine as long as he drops back here. He does have a bunch more Zerglings on the way, I believe. Wrong one. There we go. Production tab. Yeah, that's what I meant. He has about 12 pairs of Zerglings on the way, so he's gonna be able to defend against this. He may lose this queen, but if it'll be worth the trade if he does to get the rest of this army. And the Zerglings have popped. Metabolic boost almost finished. That's another thing about going for that very early 7 pool. Gonna be a little bit behind on the tech. But once that does finish, he might be able to catch up to these guys right here and finish them off. Let's see if that does happen, following these Zealots slowly running away. And there is Metabolic boost popping right now. He's going to catch them all, and he's actually pull back his Stalkers here, and he's going to get a complete surround. And yes, it does look like he's going to get everything here, losing Zerglings in the process, but really worth it for 2, potentially 3 Stalkers. GoSuGatored did not want to send that Stalker over there. Every unit at this point matters, especially this early in the game still, when everybody's still up and coming. So he's going to quickly really trade that army. Now it's going to give him a small leg up. He's able to bounce in here, pick off a probe, it does look like, or maybe 2, no, just 1, and not really losing much else. If we take a look at the resources tab, not what I'm looking for, army tab here, there we go. He is going to be, wait, that's not what I'm looking for. Come on, there we go, units lost tab, hello. He's going to be running these Zerglings away. If you take a look, he's only 1 unit behind, but the resources that GoSuGatored has lost is insane. This right here tells you that the Zerg now has the 1-up. He is going to break this down for when he decides to get the third. He has a early backdoor. Hallucination is being researched right now, and with Hallucination, he's going to be able to get the scouting information he needs. Fruitdealer going for that third, grabbing that gas. That's the other thing about the third I meant to mention, by the way, is it only has 1 gas. So granted, it's an easy third, easy to defend. It only has 1 gas, so if you need another gas, you need to expand to a 4th relatively quickly. But right now, he's just working off of Zerglings, and he does have a Spire on the way, but the primary Zergling defense here is all mineral heavy. He doesn't have to worry about all that gas right now. As you can see, he's doing just fine working off these 4, spending on tech and queens and evolution chambers, so that even though evolution chamber does not use any gas at all, I'm just talking out of my butthole over here, so I apologize about that. These Zerglings really doing a good job keeping the scouting information exactly where he wants it. I'm gonna need to get a drink in a minute, and just kind of keeping him back. So this game, going from a very quick early aggression, early cheese build from Fruitdealer, has transitioned to a macro-centric build, and Fruitdealer now having the huge advantage, going for his 4th, has his 3rd going up and running at this point, popping Mutalisks to do some harass. As you can see, there's very little air defense back here, and if he gets to his main, which most undoubtedly will, he's going to be having some problems. Twilight Council going down, so potentially some Blink Stalkers, or into something like maybe some Dark Templar or High Templar play later on. We will see what he has improved. At this point, this game is just kind of bouncing back and forth. This 3rd, just going to leave 1 Zergling here just to keep an eye on it. Not really worrying about him expanding right now. Take a look at the Workers tab. He has now, Fruitdealer has pulled ahead, and his 4th is going to pop, ignoring these 2 right now. Sorry, this one right now, and this one right now, and going straight for this one, so skipping over. I'm not sure the thought process on it is. Actually, he could knock down, I'm curious, he could knock down these rocks and grab this one. Maybe he wants to double gas, but this would be a quicker unit transfer. So, interesting. We are going to see, I apologize, it does look like he does have his Mutalisks up here, and actually, if we take a look here, Workers killed. He has killed, even up the worker kill count just a bit. Gonna pick off a Stalker there. Doesn't want to get too close to those double cannons here. The problem with these double cannons is that it has kind of made some suboptimal mining time, as they are going to have to path around it. But not going to make a huge difference at this point. Now he is going to transition over into Stargate. But as you can see, Fruitdealer, 1 step ahead, is going to focus with these huge amount of Mutalisks to do some harassing. All the while, though, is basically transferring over into Roaches, so potentially we'll see some Roaches in the army. Well, most definitely, rather, we'll see some Roaches in the army with Roach Speed and Burrow going down. So we'll see Burrow Roaches coming into play at some point in the game. I'm curious when he decides to transfer. He does know that the starport is down. He does know that it's coming, so going to have to get ready for some air defense. Mutalisk will be good against pretty much everything. But if he's going Roaches, perhaps he'll be going Roach Hydra. That is a commonly good mix against Protoss. A lot of people say Roach Hydra is so not a good mix anymore, but honestly, I think Roach Hydra is actually quite a viable mix against Protoss still. They can do their damage as long as they have the right mixture. Air weapons upgrade is going to be going down for GoSuGatored. So really going to be focusing on that air assault. I'm curious. Again, I'm stuttering over my words here because I'm curious what is Fruitdealer going to do? Is he going to continue with his Mass Mutalisk, or is he actually going to go Roach Hydra? Mass Mutalisk against things like Void Rays is fine, but now that he knows he has Mass Mutalisk, don't expect many Void Rays. Expect more Phoenixes in the mix. And he still is going to be producing those Zerglings. Zerglings are good in any unit composition. And he does Spore Crawlers going down for those static defenses, but again, Mutalisks versus a good amount of Phoenixes are pretty much pointless. It does look like he's going to be trying to harass his third just a bit, but going to have to back out of there before any damage is done. Moving his army. His army is kind of small. As you can see, Fruitdealer's army is much larger. And now he's going to be moving in with a Zergling Roach Muta army. Craziness. You don't see this too often. Trying to get the surround. He does get the surround. He's going to have the encounter here, but here come the Phoenixes, the double Star Gates. We're going to be able to produce a ton of Phoenixes. Phoenix is going to be focusing down all those Mutas. Mutas won't be lasting long, and good force fields preventing a good chunk of those Zerglings from doing anything. So sadly, not the damage he wanted to get done, but still going to be picking off. It does look like all of those wow, I can't think. Oh, man, I've had such a long day. Anyway, did a good number on that Protoss army. I'm just going to skip that. Wow. Can't even think right now. And he's going to be moving his Overlords out of here. You don't want to keep them clustered with Phoenixes on the map, as they could do a ton of damage and just eat an Overlord breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he is going to be transferring over into a Roach Hydra army. I do like this transfer. Transition is going to be extremely strong, especially against a gateway-heavy army, which is pretty much what he has with the mixture of Scouts. It's not Scouts. Wow, we're not playing StarCraft 1. Phoenixes, with a mixture of Phoenixes. And really, this is actually be doing a ton of damage. He probably has a range upgrade already. All the Hydras are popping. It does have tunneling claws going down, so very heavy Roach front runners is what we're going to see. And he's going to be working off of 5 hatcheries at this point. Now grabbing this hatchery right here. Just using it for unit production as we speak. Nothing much else. And his army is getting quite sizable. And he's going to be a 1-1 army. And here come the Phoenixes are going to be moving around the map, getting some scouting information. But just as he's moving around, he did just miss. His army is going to be moving for a counterattack, so he may be getting a good amount of damage done over here. But while that's happening, his scouts are going to be, or his Phoenixes are going to be completely out of position. And picking off a queen and a few drones, but really not going to be able to do much else. Really, as you can see, Fruitdealer's attention is primarily focused on this army right here, and going to be pushing it all back. The Yellows that had him on hold position weren't attacking, are moving to attack, and now going to be burrowing smartly those front Roaches and moving them behind the force fields and unburrowing them there. Going to have to abandon base in the third, and going to be picking off this Nexus right here. Is going to have to quickly retreat all of his Phoenixes back to the base as Fruitdealer does decide to move in here. If the Sentries can get some good force fields down, we'll be able to see some good damage. He is going to be picking off the cannon. No, he's just 1Aing, as you can see, because they're attacking in different areas, picking off cannon, picking off army, and now the Phoenixes are here, so they'll be picking up just Hydras because they don't want to be picked off by the Hydras. But as you can see, Fruitdealer is doing a good amount of damage to the army. If he could at least have an army swap here, it'll totally be worth it. And as my phone is ringing, I will have to return. Okay, as I was saying, the army trade would be totally in Fruitdealer's benefit. If he can at least do most damage and lose his army, at this point, it really doesn't matter. He's already done a lot of damage. He already has 5 bases up and running, and really it's not looking too good for GoSuGatored. Honestly, at this point, I don't know what more he can do. It does look he's going to be swinging in here with just a few more Hydralisks, picking off whatever he can. At this point, if you look at the food differential, he has 30 some odd food on his opponent. Fruitdealer is looking just fine. At this point, I really don't see him being able to lose this unless something crazy happens. And again, he's going out with Wave 2, knows he can push out right now, and with that push out, he's going to be able to do a lot more damage. So going to be swinging on out. Has if you can actually take a look, because of those phoenixes, just a random note I'm actually noticing is that Fruitdealer has very little map presence outside of his bases. He doesn't really have much knowledge outside of what he has. Actually, he has all the knowledge he needs. And now he's going to be, again, swinging in here, doing a lot of damage. Roach is going to be focusing on all of those stalkers. Hydra's going to be picking off those phoenixes, and those phoenixes are really what's causing the problem. Blinking out of there, has to retreat at this point. And now this is looking really, really, really bad for GoSuGatored. So we'll see what Gator does do. We're going to have another Roach kind of burst to the army over here, building up that wall. As you can see, building up a bunch more Roaches. These Hydras are doing the damage they absolutely need to do. He needs that Roach wall in front of them, though, so he doesn't lose them. Swinging back, doing a bunch more damage, and it does look like he's going to be doing a bit of an armor trade. Some Blink Micro going on here. He is 2-0, but sadly, Fruitdealer is 2-2, so not going to be working on his favor. The Hydras do so much damage. Going to be losing more Stalkers to this, and again, as he's doing that, more Roaches are swinging on up. So, though he's losing units here, as you can see, slowly pushing them back, blinking up top. Going to just sacrifice these Hydras. Don't need to worry about them too much. And he did borrow them, actually. So kind of just borrowed them, but didn't worry about it. And now moving in with more Roaches, doing more damage, just whittling down his food. Now the food differential is insane. Going to finally work into that probe line there and do a bunch of damage. And there's a GG from Gator. Know that this is going to be a relentless push. It's going to constantly push. Mr. Bitters and VT Mr. Bitter, weird, leaving the game. They were the spectators. So like I said, if it's for IEM, this is game 1 in this series. I'll see you guys next cast. Thank you so much.